What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to bring you another one of my 2014 WCQ hat format deck profiles. The deck I want to show off today is Karakuri OTK, or as some people call it, Karakuri Psychics. It's a very cool deck that's extremely explosive. Obviously, if OTK is in the name, it is trying to beat the opponent in one push, and even going first, this deck can put up some really crazy boards. I've played games with this deck where I've been able to put up Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, Stardust, and Naturia Beast with 5 cards still left in hand, so the deck can put up some really nice boards even going first, or just OTK the opponent if need be, so I'm extremely excited to show off this deck. Now, I do play it a little different. A lot of people do know this deck being able to play Machine Duplication or Desynchro, but in my opinion, those cards are kind of win more cards, and cards, for example, like Desynchro lose really hard to Vanity's Emptiness, since Desynchro bounces your Synchro monster as cost, and it can also lose to DD Crow because your opponent can DD Crow the monsters, and then your Desynchro is dead. And in general, there's also hands that are the full OTK, but you aren't opening any Karakuri monsters, which might sound weird, but hopefully it'll make a little more sense once we actually get into this deck profile, and that's why I think that Machine Duplication isn't the greatest card in this deck, though I have messed around with it at playing, 2 copies of it, and it's been alright, but it's honestly not needed. But anyways, let's get into this deck profile, and I'll explain it more as we actually go on. One quick thing to note, all the Karakuri monsters in the main deck have the effect that they must attack if able, and then they also have an effect when they are targeted for an attack to switch their battle position. Some of them are only while they're in attack position, some are just in general if they're targeted for an attack, so I'm not going to mention those effects, I'm only going to mention the other effects as we go on, but without further ado, let's actually get into this deck profile. So, starting off, we play 3 copies of Solar Windjammer. The reason I wanted to show this off first is because I will refer to this quite a lot, I'm sure, during this whole deck profile. What this is it's basically a Cyber Dragon, except it's just if you control no monsters, so going first you are able to special summon this, and if you do that, its attack and defense are halved, and you can only control 1 Solar Windjammer, and then during each standby phase, it'll increase its level by 1, but usually you're going to get rid of it right away. The best hands you can open with this deck involve seeing some sort of level 5, whether it's Solar Windjammer or one of the other level 5 extenders we have in this deck, and a level 3 tuner, which there are a lot of, and then also just having 1 other Karakuri monster in hand is usually your full combo, which is really good. But 3 Solar Windjammer, again, you just want to see it in your opener. For some of the tuners, we play 3 copies of Karakuri Nanishi. This is probably your best Karakuri normal summon in the deck, and the reason that is while it's face up on the field, once the turn that it's face up, you can additional summon a Karakuri monster. Now, the cool thing with this, unlike other monsters that usually have this effect, is it's not a normal summon effect. So say later in the turn you special summon this off of one of your Karakuri Synchro monsters that we'll talk about later, you can get the additional normal summon off of that. So very, very good card, level 3 tuner, and important to note, the Karakuris are machines, and this is also a machine. Moving forward, 2 copies of Nishipashi. This one has the effect on normal or special summon to change a monster on the field's battle position, which is good for the level 8 Karakuri Synchro monster, and also just, again, another tuner. So very, very good. One other is a Karakuri Watchdog Saizon. This one has an ability to make your monsters gain a little bit of attack when you take damage involving it, but the main thing to note with this is it's a level 4 tuner. The level 4s don't come up as often because I'd say for this build I was trying to maximize on the level 8 synchro potential over the level 7 synchro potential, though we do still play cards that allow you to go into 7s. You mostly want to see your 8s, and that's why I said your level 3 tuners are very important, and your level 5 extenders, but this does come up. There's been times where I've wanted to up this to 2, but so far 1 has been completely fine. After that, we play 2 copies of Karakuri Soldier. This one is basically a floater. When it's destroyed by battle, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Karakuri monster from your deck in face-up attack position. The cool thing about this one is also it has 1400 attack, and this deck doesn't play a lot of back row, so this can crash with ice hands and things, and then you'll be able to get your summon, and then since there's like no back row in this deck, their ice hand won't be able to do anything, which is very nice. And then one other level 4 Karakuri is the Karakuri Ninja. This one, when it destroys a monster by battle, you're able to special summon a level 4 lower Karakuri monster from your graveyard in defense position. So this is just a cool little way, once you've already, made some of your pushes, if, you need a backup plan, this is a very good one. But again, the level 4s of the regular Karakuri monsters aren't as important as, again, the tuner monsters, but still very good to play as backup plans, and it does come up in certain hands to make your level 7s. After that, we play one NAWCQ. This one is a level 5, which is very important because in a lot of your combos, you'll be special summoning this off of your Karakuri Synchro just so that you can make another level 8 Synchro and keep playing. So it's very good for that reason specifically. It kind of sucks you have to play it because it is sort of a brick, but it's extremely important. The other thing is it has the effect that when it's normal summoned, you can draw cards equal to the number of face-up defense position Karakuri monsters you control. Usually this would be used in the builds that play machine duplication, because you would say normal summon the double summon one, then you would be able to use the machine duplication, summon 2 more additional normal this, and draw 2, which is good. But in this build, since we aren't playing it, usually the time that you'll use the normal summon is after you've soul charged, and when you do that, usually you can draw anywhere from 2 to 4 cards, which is really cool. But again, usually you just want this in deck. After that, the last Karakuri monster we play is 1 copy of Merchant. This one on normal summon will add a Karakuri card, so that can be your spells or monsters in this case, to your hand, which is really good. It's also important because this one is level 2, so it helps you make Naturia Beast if you're not able to OTK the opponent or if you're going first, as well as it searches you copies of Cash that we'll talk about in a bit, which is sort of like a Rhoda. This is another one I've considered bumping up, though it's not great unless you're opening it with your double summon Karakuri, but still a very good card. After that, for the Psychics, we play 2 copies of Psychic Commander. It's another Earth level 3 tuner, which is extremely good, and you're able to special summon it off of E-Telly, so very good card. It has the effect where when it battles, you can pay up to 500 life points, and then the monster it's battling loses that much attack based on whatever increment. So say you pay 100, the monster will lose 100. If you pay 500, the monster will lose 500. So it's a cool way to help out things, and just in general, you need it as another level 3 tuner. And then I'm also choosing to play one other Psychic, and that is 1 copy of Rizebel the Star Adjuster. This one isn't a tuner, it's a level 3 Psychic, and we play this one because if we see E-Telly plus one of the tuners, it helps you make other synchro plays, or there's also an Xyz that you can make with this, and just in general, this can also be an interruption if you see E-Telly. And so what this one does is when it's special summon, you target a face-up monster on the field and increase its level by up to 3. So this is really cool because if you see like a level 3, you can E-Telly special this and then make one of the monsters go up to, this could be a level 6, it could be a level 5, it could be a level 4, or you could turn one of your level 3s into a level 4. There's just so many plays, and it can count as interruption because if your opponent has 2 monsters and you know they're going to make an Xyz, you could E-Telly special this out and make the opponent's monsters level increased, so then they're forced to just have 2 monsters on field and they can't do anything with it if they needed it for that reason. There's just so many plays with this, and again, it's a way to also make synchros since it's a non-tuner, so very important card, very, very good, and I've been liking this a ton. There's so many plays that I could just keep talking about with that. After that, 1 copy of Redox. This helps you make your 1 copy of Dracosac that's in the extra deck because it is level 7. So if you have, your level 7 Synchro line plus this, you're able to do that. As well as if you have one of your level 3 tuners, you can use that plus this to make a copy of Leo that you'll see in the extra deck. But also another cool thing besides being a body is since most of your monsters are Earth, you can use the discard effect to reborn. So if your opponent does try to break your board, or if you're going second and they hit you with a torrential or something, then you have follow-up. So this card is really good for that reason too. And the last monster we play is 3 copies of Max C. Now we play this because we're not always gonna get to go first. So having a way to draw a lot of cards, giving us more chances to draw into all of our combo pieces to actually OTK is extremely important. The other cool thing with this is it is an Earth level 2. So similar to Merchant, if you're able to say see E-Telly plus this, you can make Naturia Beast, or if you make a Soul Charge play, you can bring this back and make a Naturia Beast with one of your level 3 tuners. So it can even be a combo piece, or if you open multiple with your Redox, you can just discard one with that for a reborn effect. It has so many uses, and just drawing cards and stopping the other combo decks is very good. Next, for the spells, we play 3 copies of Instant Fusion to summon a level 5 extender. So seeing this plus one of your level 3s helps you start your combos. Or if you see like this Solar Windjammer and a level 3, you're probably just OTKing. 3 copies of Emergency Teleport, obviously because more copies of your level 3 tuners, or your Rise Bell, which is very good. 3 copies of Forbidden Lance to help play through back row, because going second, you need a way to just push over their stuff. It also works really good with the Quick if you need to attack over a monster and summon something back, so very important card there. Next, we play 2 copies of Soul Charge. I know I'm not playing 3. You play 2 because the only time this card is good is either turn 1 if you're trying to make a really big board that your opponent can't beat so you can beat them on your following turn, or if you've already started falling behind and you're probably going to lose. This is a way to kind of get back in the game, so it's not as important as people make out, especially because if you don't see your combo pieces turn 1, then this is a dead card anyways. And to pair with that, we're playing 2 copies of Iron Call. This one, if you control a machine type monster, you target a level 4 lower machine in your graveyard and special summon it. Its effects are negated and it's destroyed during the end phase. This one, in some ways, is better than this. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times your combos just need one more piece to get them going and to fully pull off the OTKs. So this is a way that you still have your battle phase where Soul Charge isn't, and so you still get your body from graveyard to keep making your plays go through, which is really good. I think 2 and 2 is good. This isn't once per turn, so if you see multiple of this is also good for that reason. After that, 2 copies of Karakuri Cash. I want to play 3 of this, but I think it would be too cloggy because, again, you don't always see all your Karakuris, but all of your big pushes get you to Karakuris. So this card is almost never not live. What it does is you select a face-up Karakuri monster you control, add a level 4 lower Karakuri monster from your deck to your hand, and then change the battle position of that monster. So this is a good way to find follow-up if it's, say, turn 1, or if you open your level 3 Karakuri that's additional normal summon, this is a way to then, pair it with that so you can always end on Nat Beast, or you can make a level 7, or just keep making plays. So this card is very, very important for that. And then the last spell is 1 limiter removal just to help you push for game easier. Even if you can't push and kill them, you can then overlay the monsters or do something with the monsters to get the machines off board so you don't have the negative effect of destroying them during the end phase. And then we do play 3 trap cards, and that's just 3 traps stun. I've considered cutting this down to 2, and if I did that, I'd probably put the Watchdog or the Merchant, just 1 more copy. And then that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, I wanted to play it with enough that it can OTK the opponent, or have cards that put them in a position where you can OTK them on the following turn. So starting off, we play 1 copy of Star Eater. This one you can make really easily, honestly, if you make the level 8 synchro. I should just say in advance, the synchros for Karakuris special summon other Karakuris from deck. So if you have the level 7, you can summon the level 4 and make this. Or if you see Redox plus the level 4 tuner, you can make this. Or if you see the 7 and a 4, there's just so many combinations to make this, and it helps push for game, especially if your opponent has back row. After that, we play 1 copy of Leo. Again, tons of ways to make this, whether you have like E-Telly plus your level 4 can make this, or one of your level 7s plus a level 3 can make this, whether that's Redox and one of your 3 tuners, or one of your level 7 synchros and one of your level 3 tuners. Lots of ways to make this, and it's just a really hard card for a lot of decks to out, so just a really cool end piece. 1 Scrap Dragon. Originally, it was between Scrap Dragon and Crimson Blader, but Scrap Dragon just felt better because you're trying to OTK in this deck. You don't want to play a slow, grindy game, so sometimes being able to make this early on and either bait negation or pop opponents' cards to then keep extending is really good, so that is a great card. Now, here's where it gets a little different. Again, 2 copies of Barredo. Extra deck space in this deck is extremely tight, and in general, a lot of people like to max out on the Karakuri synchros, but it's really not needed, and it puts you susceptible to just losing to a ton of other cards. So you almost always will go for 2, but 3 is more of an option, especially, again, because you do need to play other things in case you can't OTK them. So 2 is really good. What this one does is when it's synchro summon, you can special summon a Karakuri monster from deck. That doesn't mean anything in terms of level, so you can summon your level 5, your level 3, your level 2, whatever you need. And then when a Karakuri monster changes its battle position, that includes itself, what you're able to do is draw a card, and that is a soft once per turn. So what's nice about that is if you have 2 and you switch one of their battle positions, you will draw 2. Also, if you soul charge this back and then a position changes, you will draw again, because it is a soft once per turn. So extremely good card. There's times where you'll end on 2 of this and be able to go for a Mech-Whip Engineer, and so what you do is on your turn, you Mech-Whip Engineer, switch 1 to defense, you draw 2 because you'll have this and the other one, and then on the opponent's turn, you'll be able to Mech-Whip Engineer, switch the other one, and draw 2 more, and then if you have your Max Cs, you can drop that, and your opponent probably isn't playing through that too well. They might be able to clear everything but one of your Barredos, but even then, if they're under Max C, you're still drawing a lot, and then on your turn, you switch it, draw again, and you should have enough to just OTK them. The last 8 I'm playing is 1 copy of Stardust. I chose this over Stardust Spark. A card like this that can stop board wipes is better than just a card preventing one card from being destroyed where Spark does that. So that's why we chose to play Stardust. After that, 2 copies of the level 7 Karakuri Beret. This one, again, when it's synchro summoned, you're able to special summon a Karakuri monster from your deck, and then it has the effect that once per turn you can change the battle position of a monster on the field, so that can be an opponent's or your own. After that, the last 7 is 1 copy of Black Rose, just because sometimes you need to clear the board and then push for game. Lastly, the last synchro I play is the 1 copy of Naturia Beast. This just helps against a lot of the decks that play spell cards. So for example, Spellbook, this is just a way to put a lot of pressure on them and basically stop their plays. So very good card. Again, this is one of the cards that it helps if you're going first, but going second, this is only your backup if you didn't OTK them. For the Xyz, I play 1 Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, very easy to make in this deck. 1 rank 7, which is Draco Sack. There was no space for Big Eye, and Big Eye really doesn't come up when you're just OTKing the opponent. Usually this deck has big enough monsters and enough cards that can just beat over everything that you don't really have to worry about something like Big Eye stealing the opponent's monster. And the last Xyz is 1 Mech-Whip Engineer. I play this over Soul of Silver Mountain. Soul of Silver Mountain is a really great card because it can you know, basically stop your opponent from using one of their back row, and then when it destroys a monster by battle, you're able to special summon back one of your earth monsters from grave. So that could like summon back one of your synchros because there's no restriction or anything on it. But I chose Mechwhip Engineer specifically because it can switch your battle positions for that one play that I said with the Barredo. But also just in general, it's a very good card and can help you stall a little bit better than Soul of Silver Mountain can. So that's very relevant. Sometimes, you know, you end on this plus a Felgrand and that's really good. Or like this, a Stardust and a Felgrand. It's just really a great card overall. And then lastly, the instant fusion targets are 2 copies of Cybersaurus. This could be Parapsychroid. There's really no difference besides the attack, but again, that barely comes up. I've wanted to cut this down to 1, but I found having 2 is just too often too important. There's other builds of Karakuri that don't necessarily try to OTK, and when you have that, you can play like rank 5s and stuff, because then like even if you're not making the synchros, you can use this as a level 5 to make rank 5s, but that's a whole nother build for another time. If you guys want to see a build like that, definitely let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll try to make a video on that. But anyways, that is it for this deck profile. I know it's a little different from what you might expect from a Karakuri OTK deck, but I have found a lot of success in this, and it's always a ton of fun to play. So if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out. Share this video with your friends. Let me know videos you want to see in the future. And anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.